Hey fight fans, as you may remember in a previous video, we showed how Iron Mike stated that Makhachev's winning streak is inflated and does not contain any big names. So Makhachev of course replied back to him, but in this video we are going to tell you why Makhachev is wrong. Robert Whittaker gave his prediction for the fight between Makhachev and Oliveira. The former UFC champ is sure that Charles Oliveira's overconfidence in his jiu-jitsu skills can come back to bite him in the fight with Islam. So let's see why he thinks this. Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, also stated, if Makhachev does not want to fight in a standing position, then Oliveira will not be able to stand on his feet. However, Hamzat's coach, Alan Finfao, does not agree. He thinks that everyone is too focused on Oliveira's grappling, but they forgot about a very important thing. So let's see what exactly he means. Brazilian fighter Adriano Martins, whom is the only fighter to have defeated Makhachev, shared his memories of the fight with Islam back from 2015. And then finally at the end of this video, Habib replies to Chimaev's coach, who wrote that being a Muslim does not mean being perfect. Now this video is going to be very interesting, however we do have one request. Please help support our channel by liking and subscribing. It really does motivate us to make the best videos for all of you, so let's go. On the evening of October 22nd, UFC 280 will take place in Abu Dhabi, which millions of fans are excited for. And the main event, Islam Makhachev, will face off against Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight belt. But this fight continues to have a lot of conversation surrounding it. Many fans are not even sure that this fight will take place at all. Even Habib Nurmagomedov spoke out about this, saying that the Brazilian may withdraw from the fight. But the question that many fans and even some fighters themselves remain, how deserving is the Russian fighter to be able to fight for the title? And one of the critics of Makhachev was Michael Chandler. Iron Mike stated that Makhachev's winning streak is inflated and does not contain any big names. In response to this, Islam only laughed and mocked the former Bellator champion on social media, saying, "Your only two wins in the UFC are over Hooker and over Tony Ferguson, who already has 5 losses in a row. Shut up and get in line." But personally, I think that Makhachev got a little too excited responding to Chandler. We can all agree that Makhachev is wrong here. Yes, it is true that in the UFC, the American has not yet had many wins, but many of his rivals in Bellator are a lot stronger than any of Islam's previous opponents, including the legendary Benson Henderson, who even 2 years after the rematch with Chandler remains at the top of the lightweight division, and Brent Primus, who was undefeated until the second fight with Chandler. So yeah, Chandler has fought some really dangerous guys. I mean, sure, he's lost some, but in most cases he did take revenge and eventually won the title, which he only lost because of some bad judging. But what about Makhachev? What strong opponents has he beaten? In addition to Hooker, Sarukian could be named, but in 2019 Arman was too young and fought Islam on very short notice. Islam really hasn't fought any of the big names or top guys, but this does not mean that he's not good or that he will even lose to Charles Oliveira. It's just not worth elevating yourself to the top before you beat the champion, says Chandler. And yes, you heard that right, he said champion. Charles, despite the fact that he was stripped of the belt, many people still perceive him as the champion, including Chandler. And now Makhachev has an excellent opportunity to silence all of us. But who else thinks he will? Of course, if Islam defeats the Brazilian, this will immediately remove any and all doubt. But please understand one thing though. In no way do I want to downplay the achievements of Islam, but it is a fact, he has not faced any top guys. For example, former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker is sure that Charles Oliveira's excessive confidence in his jiu-jitsu skills will play a cruel joke on him in his fight with Makhachev. He said, "If I was a betting man, I'd pick Makhachev, just because of the fact that Oliveira can be taken down because he has such faith in his jiu-jitsu game, especially defensive jiu-jitsu playing off his back. He's so good at straight line attacks defensively, like his knees and his elbows and his strikes, that stops people from getting in. But Makhachev's wrestling and grappling is obviously top tier." Javier Mendez spoke to Submission Radio saying, "Well, first of all, he's gonna take him down. It's just a matter of when. But he will take him down and Charles is not gonna be able to stand. If Islam doesn't want to stand, he will not. He'll be taken down. He is second to Habib in being able to take people down, and he will go down. Charles will go down.
Well, first of all, he's got to take him down. It's just a matter of when, but he will take him down. Charles is not going to be able to stand. If Islam doesn't want to stand, he will not. He'll be taken down. He is second to Habib in being able to take people down, and he will go down. Charles will go down. Charles is not known to be a wrestler. And also keep in mind, Charles has got such a phenomenal jiu-jitsu game. You know, probably in MMA, in pure jiu-jitsu, he's probably got the best game in the lightweight division. So why would he be afraid of go to the ground? He's not. He wants to test himself there with Islam, and by all means, we're fine with that too. The bottom line is, the thing about this fight is, gonna stand up? Okay, let's go. Going to the ground? Okay, let's go. We'll see who can dominate where, and when that time comes, you know. I think Charles is good with anything. I think Charles says he takes him down, no big deal. Stand up, okay, I got you. His attitude is, I'm going to beat him. Stand up, I'm going to beat him on the ground. Our attitude is, we're going to take you where we want to take him. We're going to beat you where we want to beat you. He is so well-rounded. I am going on record saying, as the lightweight, he is hands down the number one of all time, best in all areas. Number one of all time, Islam Makhachev. Best defense, best striking, you know, best everywhere. The best all-around athlete. Way back in the day, I thought it was Frank Shamrock that was the best well-around athlete, you know, and he was in all divisions, but in the lightweight division, for me, the person that's the best rounded in every single area is Islam Makhachev.
Wow.
But Khamzat Chimaev's coach, Alan Finfau, thinks that everyone is too focused on Oliveira's grappling, and that they forgot he is also a great striker. He believes that Makhachev has never fought someone like Charles before. He is the guy who can submit anyone in this division. I can't see any opponents that can surprise Charles on the ground. Makhachev, he never fought a guy like Charles. Everyone gets too focused on Charles' ground game, but forget that Charles' striking is also very good. And let's not forget that Adriano Martins knocked out Makhachev in his only loss. And speaking of Adriano Martins, he himself remembers the fight with Islam Makhachev from back in 2015, recalling that he knocked out the Russian in the first round. Martins said, "Before the fight, the announcer first introduced Islam and then me. Bruce Buffer yelled my name and then they started laughing in my face until I knocked out Islam. Maybe when Bruce Buffer announced 12th career loss, that's why they were laughing." Martins continued saying, "I never understood why they did that. But after I knocked out Islam, Habib was very polite and congratulated me on my victory." Now, Habib also showed a lot of politeness to Khamzat Chimaev's coach, Reza Madadi, after Madadi had responded to Habib's comments on Khamzat missing weight. When Nurmagomedov commented on Khamzat's failed weigh-in before the fight with Nate Diaz, he said that the problem is that the Swede does not have any Muslims on his team. Madadi then responded to Habib, writing that being a Muslim does not mean being perfect. Now, we do have this video on our channel where we go into much more detail on this topic, so feel free to view that video. But Habib ended up answering him, writing, "I agree 100%. So much respect to Habib for not continuing the skirmish back and forth on social media, but instead burying the hatchet between them. What do you think about all this? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe because it does help our channel grow.